everyone. Today I'll cover how to add a new custom weapon. And I'll go over where its data is stored, and I'll go over how to fix the left hand, um, or how to add an additive animation sequence so that the left hand is fixed for every single animation the animation set without having to create new animations, or just one. So this is what it look like. It really looks like he's holding it, even though it is using the rifle animation, which doesn't have that same hand placement. Open up your Epic launcher and then navigate to the Marketplace tab, and let's search for food. I searched for banana and not much stuff showed up. Let's just filter by free, and then click on the food pack 1. Let's go ahead and add it to our project. Okay, so my project is just called Banana Weapon, and which is just a Lyra based project. And then you have to choose the version that's closest to the one you're using. So mine is currently 5.1. And then let's click to add to project. So this will add all 111 models to your project. You can always delete those assets that we don't need in our project. And then next time you open up your project, you'll see that it's now in your content folder. So it's just called Food Pack 1. And then the banana is just fruit banana 1. Let's just drag that one into this this U map just to see what it looks like. And then you can press F to zoom into that object. So what we'll want to do is we'll want to change the pivot, and we'll want to change the shape so it resembles a little bit more like a gun. So, okay. Something like this, and then we'll just skew the shape a little bit. So first of all, I'll just show you how to use this new pivot editing tool. I think it's new in 5.0. So click this drop down menu, and then let's go ahead and choose modeling. So this will open up a whole model toolbar, and there's a lot of stuff you can do to this mesh. And it will apply to the original, or you can also have it so that it duplicates itself and is a different static object. So in our case, we want to use the pivot tool. It's under the transform tab, and this will allow us to change the pivot point of this static mesh. So, oh, if I click, that's right, because I rotated it. So if I click on top, it'll put it to the top of the bounding box of the asset. It's a bit hard to see where the center is, actually. Oh, and I also slow down my camera settings because it's going way too fast. So the camera settings are actually up here, the camera speed. And then when you navigate, you can go a little bit slower. It's easier to see. So I can see that, oh, I guess I have snapping on. So that too we can turn off. I'll just Control Z to undo. And then let's turn that off. And so now I can move nicely. Okay, so this looks much better. So when we're done, we can actually click accept. And now our pivot is right here. So if we rotate, it rotates around this. If ever you lose this second menu over here, let's say we close it by accident, you can actually find it in window editor modes, and then it's the mode toolbar. Another modeling mode tool that I found that was very good is the effort for this particular case is the warp. So you can actually reshape the mesh using space deformers. So if I click on this, so if I pull this modifier, it makes it less deformed. If I pull this one, it kind of follows this yellow curve. So anything you kind of need to like deform this way, this tool is really good for it. So that looks pretty pretty good. All right, so I'm happy with my shape, and I will just click on accept. Let's go ahead and delete this one from the scene. And we don't actually need to save the map because we didn't make any changes to it. And yeah, now we have a banana mesh that's ready to be used as a weapon. Okay, let's go ahead and go to our favorite gym. And also let's change back our camera speed so that we're not moving insanely slow. And let's make sure to save our mesh. This time, instead of disabling the AI shooting, we're actually going to do something a little different. And I'll introduce you to a very good tool in 5.0. And this is called the console variables editor. And what this tool does is that it shows all the console variables that are currently on, and you can save a preset, and it makes it easier to test with some features enabled or disabled. So let's go ahead and just enable this plugin. So just say yes to this, and then let's click on restart now. Okay, so after it opens back up, it will still have this window open. Let's go ahead and close that major tab. And our console variables tool is under Windows console variables. And so this is where you can create presets, or you can just preview whatever console variables active at the moment. So if we go to the shooter gym, if you play, you'll notice that some console variables will start to show up. So let's say you type in show flag bones, just to show the bones on your character. You'll see that it shows up in the console variables. I actually want to start the game always in God mode so I don't get murdered in the first 2 seconds. So I just searched for God mode and I got the Lyra cheat start in God mode. So I will turn that to true. Let's delete this one. And then let's save this preset as, yeah, let's create a new folder just for developer editor only. And then let's just call this one console variable presets. And let's call this one weapon testing, or just banana weapon testing. There's no name convention for this one in particular, so I will just call it very specific banana weapon testing preset. Okay, and it actually saves itself. And in our developer editor only console variable preset, you could have a bunch of different presets, and you could always load them, or preset, yeah, you would just click it in a list and it would allow you to, let's say, test with lighting, test without lighting. It's very good for profiling. And the only thing is that it's not persistent between editor sessions. So let's say you close the editor, you reopen, this preset will not be active. So you have to reopen the console variables, and then you can just load it back again. We're just gonna go ahead and duplicate pretty much the whole weapon spawner for the shotgun and all the data that's associated with the weapon shotgun, so we can make our own. And our banana will behave very much like the shotgun, or pretty much exactly. We'll just have different animation for the left hand so that it fits well. And I'll show you also how you would modify or add your own ability and change the weapon rate and all that. So first of all, just click on the weapon spawner 2, which has the shotgun information. The information we are looking for is Lyra weapon pickup. So this weapon pickup itself has a bunch of exposed variables for the color of the pad and etc. But the most important part is that it has this weapon definition, which is shotgun. So that's kind of where all of the data starts, and that's where you can start to make your own. Let's alt click to move it. It will immediately duplicate it. And let's navigate to where the weapon pickup data for the shotgun is. Okay. So the weapon, the shotgun, it has quite a lot of information. By the way, to zoom out of your content browser, you can click Control and then scroll wheel. Okay, so you have your pretty much your skeletal mesh and a bunch of things in here. Like even the reticle, everything can be customizable. And then the ID is the item definition for the shotgun, so it's the actual item you get in your inventory. And then you have the damage, the gameplay cues, you have the ability itself. I don't know why the net shooter is in here, but that doesn't really have to do with anything. So I'll make sure to just grab anything that has to do with shotgun and copy it over a new folder. So navigate to the weapons folder, right click, new folder, banana. Okay, and then I'm going to choose pretty much everything. That is the ability set, so that is the magic where it happens, where once you get a weapon, you gain this new ability set, which has the fire ability for your shotgun. Okay, so let's click this one. This one has shotgun in it. Shotgun. Net shooter, we don't care. Fire. Okay. So for now, I'll duplicate everything, but we might not use it all. So we'll probably use most of these, but if you want to make your own custom reticle and all that, you are allowed to. You can really change anything. Okay, and then Control C for copy. And then in the banana, Control V for paste. And I'll just go ahead and rename all shotgun to banana, so that it'll be clear whenever we're using a data asset that is not the right one. Go ahead and change all your shotgun names to banana. Now we're going to work from the weapon spawner and work back and just replace the references and change what we need to change so that this becomes a banana weapon. So first of all, just click on this weapon spawner. I'm going to keep it to yellow because it matches the banana. And then under your weapon definition, go ahead and choose your banana. And let's open that up. And then you can play with these. So this is just after you pick up the weapon, how long does it take until you can pick it back up? And those are all the sounds for the pickup, the respawn sounds. I guess we don't have any visual effects for these when they are picked up, but that's where the visual effects would go. And then you have the display mesh. So here we can already change this one to our banana. So now, oh, I guess, okay, we need to save. And I'm guessing it probably just changes. Oh, let's just change it back. Ah, okay. So sometimes it doesn't update because it might just work when you play, or it might just work when you reopen the map. Yeah, so the scale, we can make it bigger. It's pretty small. So let's say 3. Okay. Even the scale didn't update, so let's just do that. Do this again. There you go. Okay, and then so this is where you set your inventory item definition. So it's the item definition banana, and then you can browse to that asset. And let's open that one up also. And let's make sure to save this one. So this one's display name, let's change it to banana. And then this is where the awesome magic of item definition comes in. And its inventory fragments are very nice to customize your items. The equipment definition is where it sets up what abilities it grants you. So let's choose the banana one. I'll keep this one open. And then the quick bar icon, I won't change anything because I didn't bring any 2D texture. And when it's equipped, change that. I don't know how many times I'm going to say banana in this video. And then the equipment. So this is how it describes its magazine size for your gun, the ammo and the spare ammo. So this you can tweak as much as you want. And then the appearance, we don't actually have a skeletal mesh. We could actually remove this section. And then our reticle configuration, we could actually, yeah, we could change it to the banana one. So reticle, banana, and then the ammo counter, banana. Okay, so those will be these two here. So if ever you modify these so that they look like a different reticle or ammo counter, like you could have little pieces of banana as your ammo counter. That'd be cute. And let's go up and let's actually go see what is defined in the weapon item definition. So WID. So browse to the asset and let's open it up. And let's just change all our data to point to our banana. And so the ability set to grant will also be shooter banana. And the actors to spawn, this one is actually the actor that will spawn physically on the actor. So actually what is attached to their weapon right socket. Okay, so the shotgun is actually a child actor of the B weapon. So if we open that up, you can see that there is a skeletal mesh on it. So in our case, our banana is just a static mesh, so we don't need this. And we also don't need all the extra stuff that is associated with the B weapon. So what we're actually going to do for our banana mesh is we're just going to create a new actor. So let's just go and navigate to our banana folder and let's make a new actor. So blueprint class, actor, select, and then we're just going to call it B banana. And all this actor will have is the banana static mesh. So just static mesh. And another thing you can do just to assign it all at the same time is have your static mesh selected in the content browser. And then you can, when you add your static mesh, it will add it with the mesh. There you go. And we're going to make it bigger. Let's say I'm just going to lock the dimensions so it's uniform. Let's say 3. And then we can see that the weapons they're always facing Y, so it must be the way they're set up. So let's just make sure to have the same orientation. So let's make the banana also face Y. So I'm just gonna rotate it like this, and I guess let's do a front view actually. Okay, and let's just rotate until, okay, there you go. It looks like it's facing forward, and I'll switch over to the world gizmo so I am not moving it locally. And you can see the pivot's a bit off base, so let's just go ahead and fix that. Okay, and let's just redrag this in. Okay. Oh yeah, it's really off base. I don't know how I managed to do that. So let's go back to our modeling and then our pivot. And let's move it over here. Okay, that should be better. And then just accept. And save this mesh. And let's go back to the selection mode. And now our banana is nice and centered. We'll just double check with the perspective. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And the actor to spawn and attach to the socket is just called banana. Another thing to note is that your ability set it's still adding the shotgun ability. So let's just open that one up and let's just find our banana. So fire banana. So whenever this ability set is added to the character, it will bind this ability to this input tag. And same thing with the reload. And then for a reload, we'll do the same thing. Reload banana. And then the auto reload, we'll just keep it the same. So this is where it gets bound for if you have a question for on whenever you get your new gun, where does the ability live? The last piece of our puzzle of what we're missing for our weapon setup is actually or lives in the weapon instance. So let's navigate to the weapon instance. So this this kind of describes a lot of stuff for your weapon configuration. But what we're interested in for this tutorial is the equip anim set and the unequip anim set. So instead of having to redo or add new animations for every single guns you have in, it's good. Well, in this case, we're gonna just very much do something similar to the shotgun anim layer. The biggest difference would just be the left hand placement. So let's see where this shotgun anim layer lives. So whenever you've equipped this weapon, it will apply this animation or this linked animation layer, and they live inside of the animation locomotion shotgun. So I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this one. I'll call this one banana anim layers. But what I'm interested in setting for this one is I just want to set the different pose override for the left hand. So that one is right here, left hand pose override. So it's the shotgun idle hip fire. So I'm going to duplicate that one, and that's the one that we're going to modify a little bit with additive animation. So I'm going to duplicate, and then this one I'll call it banana. You could have another weapon that you don't need to override the left pose. So that's actually a setting. So override, yeah, enable left hand pose override. Or you can just have like no pose and then it'll default to whatever's at the rifle anim layer. So in this case, or how the shotgun was set up is pretty much using all the rifle animations except when it overrides or has a different pose. So in this case, the aim down sight is like all of this is rifle, and the only difference is the shotgun. So for a banana, we'll do the same thing. Oh, I forgot to delete that one. I'll just show where this is all living, or where all this logic happens. So if you navigate to the rifle anim layers, you have all your default animations that the shotgun uses, and then go one step higher, so the item anim layer base. This is where most of the anim graph logic happens. So in our case, we're only interested in the override, or the left hand override. So I'm just going to try to search for that. Okay, that took a longer time than I thought, but it's a pretty hefty animation blueprint, and I do have a lot of blueprints open. So yeah, let's just find where this is used. So whenever this is you're not disabling the hand eye key, it just makes sure that the hand eye key right and left hand alpha is 100%, so just one. And then where the magic happens is in this animation layer called, I'll just close everything because I have too many things open. So this one is the left hand pose override state. So I'll try to, I'll post some links in the description for very useful animation layering videos that go way more in depth than this. But in this project or in this tutorial, I just wanted to focus on just setting up your weapon and having the left hand be all fixed up. So this node, it actually is a layered blend per bone, but it uses a blend mask. So what that means is that it will only affect certain bones inside the mask. So what is this mask? Well, if we click on the skeleton mannequin and we go to the blend profiles just to see, we can actually visualize what our blend masks are. So this one in this case is called left fingers mask. So we can see all the bones that are affected by this mask. So any of these bones with animation that are blending into this layered blend, it will actually override, or will try to blend, but mostly override all those bones, location or rotation. But what I found is if I was rotating the hand, I didn't see much being overridden. So it's mostly with the fingers. So the animation that we created for the left override pose, we're gonna do additive animation on these bones. So let's go all the way back and let's just have this weapon instance banana open. And then in your equipped anim set, let's just choose our banana anim layers. And there's also, this is where the feminine one is set. For the sake of the length of this tutorial, we're just gonna do the male animation today, or the male additive animation. But yeah, if you need this one as well, then you can create a banana anim layers underscore feminine and have their animation sequence overridden. Okay, so let's finally just play the game. So you can see that the left hand is a bit curled up, but when we play, we'll see that it doesn't really align with our new weapon. So yeah, let's just go ahead and play. We won't see anything different from if you were picking up the shotgun. For the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to make sure that I'm always spawning as the guy. You can go to your, I think it's cosmetic, pick random character. So in this case, instead of choosing a random character between the two, I'm just going to unhook this and duplicate this, and I'm going to just choose Manny. Okay, so that I'll always spawn as him. So yeah, let's just play. And then here's our banana pickup. And it doesn't actually look bad at all. So we might need to move it a little to the left so that it looks good in the right hand. And then we'll try to correct a little bit our left hand. So if we do F8, you'll see, oh boy, that's slow. You'll see that it's really not aligned. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy these. I think they're local. Yeah, they're relative. So those are the values that we want. So let's stop and yeah, just make sure your banana is not the root so that you can actually have a relative location. And then let's paste this and then let's play again. Okay. So we got the banana. Oh, I think it did the opposite for the Y. Okay. No, it's too much to the left. Okay, it's probably just half the value. Okay, so I am... And another neat trick is that you can actually do operations inside these fields. So that gives me half. Okay, and then if I play, that should be good. Okay, yeah, that looks really good. You might find that something is definitely in your way when you're trying to move, and that is because the banana still has collisions on. So let's turn collisions off for the banana. Okay, and let's go down. Yeah, it doesn't need to generate overlap events, and it does not need any collision. Now when we play and we pick it up, it will no longer stop us from navigating. What's pretty funny is like it still works with all the animations, so the reload animation looks quite funny. Actually, let's go ahead and create a new folder in the locomotion, um, so that our animation layers and animation sequences are all together. So let's drag that one. So let's move this over here. Okay, and then let's copy paste this one into our banana anim layer. And let's call this one banana idle hip fire. Okay, and then in our banana uh, layers, let's edit the defaults. And then our left hand pose override, let's choose the banana idle fire. Okay, all good now. To modify our animation so that it holds it, the left hand makes more sense. We could add additive layer tracks and like key it here, but it's a bit janky to do. What I find that's really useful is you can bake to the control rig, and then you can add an additive control rig, and that's easier to update and animate, and then this will actually update our animation sequence. Okay, open up your idle hipfire and then edit in sequencer and then choose bake to control rig, and let's choose control rig mannequin body. Okay, and let's reduce the keys so that's it just bakes it to the keys and it makes a smoother curve. So let's bake to control rig. Okay, so what this does is it adds an instance of this character and the control rig into the scene so that you can animate within the actual map. And whenever you save this sequencer, it actually updates the animation sequence itself. So if you play, you'll see that the animation is playing. And you could technically change all these keyframes and whatnot, but that's really hard to do, and you have to move them as a group. But what you can do is you can actually add a section for additive. Okay, so this section has additive keys. So because we want just additive, because we just want to change the position of the fingers just a little bit. So that's what we are going to do. Yeah, so okay. So I have the auto key on, but it doesn't exactly do it for additive. So I think you still need to just add a key to the current time. So I'm just going to key it and leave it like this. And then when we play, you'll see that it added that little extra rotation. All right, so let's do the same for the other fingers. So this one here, or I guess that one here, let's key and then rotate it. Okay, and then the same thing with the next one. Key, rotate it. And the same thing with the next one. Key, rotate. Okay, so, oh, and then our thumb. Let's do Let's just pull it a little bit backwards and rotate back. Okay, and then let's save and let's see what happens or how it looks like in the animation. So you'll see that it got um, it it affected the actual animation sequence. So let's see what it looks like now when we play. And you'll want to make sure that you close the sequencer when we play, because that leads to a lot of bugs, or it just straight up crashes. Then when I select it, I use it. See, I get all that nice additive animation, but it's still not perfect. Okay, so I ended up actually just trying to align more the rotation of the weapon itself than the whole animation, especially since the additive layer doesn't work for the wrist rotation. So those are the values I end up having for the banana. So these rotation values, and then when I play, I didn't even have to tweak the animation that much from my control rig animation. So it looks pretty good. Even aim down sights. Whenever you reload, it looks really good. And then if I go out, and it aligns really well. And the thing that's great about this additive animation is that this is applied to all the animations for the weapon. So the crouch aim down sight, the running with the gun, the all the whole set. And it just means that you don't have to modify every single animation sequence. And all you have to do is change the hand or the finger placement of the left hand. And of course, if you want to change your animation or your finger placement, what's nice about it is that you can always go back to the sequencer. So I'll just search the, oh, there it is. You can always go back to the sequencer and tweak it as much as you want. And whenever you save that sequence, it will update the animation sequence.